Several times this year, and for many, many, many years here at Ring of Fire, I have told you the story. I believe it took place in either 2012 or 2013 in the state of Georgia. And this was a story actually brought to my attention by attorney Howard Nations. Back when we were hosting, Ring of Fire on Free Speech TV. He would come on every week with us. And here's what happened. In the state of Georgia, again, it was either 2012 or 2013, they passed very strict laws reducing the amount of migrant workers they were going to allow in the state and basically cutting the visa program. And so what happened was that year, when this went into effect in Georgia, the farmers didn't have employees. Agriculture community collapsed. Economy of Georgia suffered tremendously in ways that took years and years to finally get back on. And of course, there were shortages of foods. All because, as the farmers told us, the crops are rotting in the field. I don't have workers. Georgians aren't willing to do these jobs. I've tried, and they're not letting me bring in the migrants that I bring in every year. So we got nothing. We lose hundreds of thousands of dollars per farmer, and you lose food and revenue, and the workers aren't obviously making money. So Georgia immediately was like, all right, screw this. We messed up. We're going back to the way things were. And again, took years, but they finally got back to where they should be. Well, history does like to repeat itself, doesn't it? Because reports came out this week. Media outlets went out and talked to farmers across the country, not just Georgia. And you know what those farmers told us? My crops are rotting in the fields because I have no one willing to do the work. Willing, of course, being the key word. And the reason is simple, these farmers tell us. The farmers who, by the way, overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. So, little bit of, you voted for this, you idiot. But, and yeah, I'm going to call them idiots because he said he was going to do it. He did it. And now you're like, oh, woe is me. I'm getting exactly what he told me I was going to get. So, yeah, either way. I have no empathy for these people anymore. I just really don't. I'm sorry. Maybe that makes me a bad person, but getting exactly what you voted for, I don't know. Kind of feel like, yeah, you should get that. But anyway, I digress. So the farmers tell us we don't have migrants coming in. You know, we basically hire the same group of people every single year for the picking season. We know them all by name. We have dealt with them for years and years and years. They come back to our farm every year. They're not here this year. They didn't come. And these farmers say only about half of the usual workers who come over did end up coming over, which is still not enough. And they said, we have crops rotting in the fields. The fruit is rotting on the trees. The vegetables are rotting in the soil because there's not enough people to do the work. And they said explicitly, it's because either ICE has already deported some of these people when they were working on other farms, or two, they don't want to come over here because they know if they do, they could be subjected to an ICE raid. So that horrible apocalyptic situation that I have laid out as a possibility multiple times this year is starting to happen now. The crops are rotting. And it doesn't take, a genius to understand how the friggin' food chain works, folks. If we have fewer crops as a country, that means when you go to the grocery store, there's going to be fewer items available for you to purchase. There will be scarcity. Scarcity drives up prices. That's what happened with eggs when we had to cull the flocks because of the bird flu. Shortage of eggs led to skyrocketing prices. Now imagine that happening across the board with every single piece of fruit or piece of produce in the grocery store. That's a lot heavier on your budget than just eggs. But don't worry, eggs will also be affected. Because you see, those crops that these farmers are growing that again are now rotting out there in the fields, those aren't just for human consumption. Some of the other foods we eat those foods as well, right? Those crops are livestock feed. So when we don't have feed for the livestock, they get malnourished and possibly die. So in order to have enough to go around, These, livestock farmers will end up having to cull the herd because that is what they feel is more humane than letting these animals starve to death. So there goes your meat as well. So your fruits, your vegetables, your meats, everything. The entire food chain gets affected by this. But this is what happens. This is what Trump voted for. Or Trump ran on, excuse me. This is what Trump voters voted for. This is what we warned you about all last year, and y'all voted for him anyway. And again, I don't necessarily have empathy for the farmers when they say, I'm going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. You voted to lose that money, so I have no sympathy. But the problem is, this problem is not just with the farmers. This is a problem that affects every single person in this country. So I do, on that level, have empathy for the human race, for American citizens, right? We're screwed. We all are. Doesn't matter who you voted for, you're going to feel the impacts of this. Nobody is immune. Nobody escapes because all of us depend on food to live. And we're about to hit that situation. Because the rotting is happening now, those supply trucks showing up at your local grocery store, they're going to be fewer and further between starting now. Welcome to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel. I am Farron Cousins, the host of Ring of Fire here on YouTube. I don't know if this is your first time here or maybe you're somebody who comes here every single day, but either way, let me tell you what's going on. Ring of Fire was actually started in the year 2004 by none other than our own America's lawyer, Mike Papantonio. And over the last 20 plus years, Ring of Fire has gone from being a 1-hour weekend radio program on Air America through a series of changes. Go Left TV, which we started back in 2007. We've been on the Young Turks network. And of course, this very YouTube channel here that started, obviously, as they all do, with no subscribers. And we've now ballooned to well over 1 million as we go on our way to that 2 million mark. So again, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. Take a few minutes, look around. We have content that actually goes back 20 years. So there's lots to see, there's lots to do. And trust me, with the next 4 years of Donald Trump getting back in office, we will be here every day, every single day with fresh content for you to keep you informed about what's happening and, of course, to warn you of the potential dangers that Donald Trump poses as we approach his second term.